Okay, today we are so honored to have our Excellency, Dr. George Agyekum Donkor, President and also the Chairman of the Board of Directors of ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. We are so honored to have him in our studio here at GSS Media. Doc, His Excellency, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
We are very fine. And
very
you?
Fine?
Yeah.
I'm also doing well by His grace. Everything is fine. All right. I'm going to start this interview by asking you a question. ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. Can you tell us about your bank?
Thank you very much, Kwesi. The ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, as we put it, EBID-BID, is a leading financial institution in West African region.
Leading. Okay.
Exactly. The bank was established in 1975.
1975.
Around the same time that the ECOWAS Commission was also created. Remember, the West African countries have a bloc called ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, which was created in 1975. The underlying principle of this bloc was to promote integration, cooperation, and development. And the authority of heads of state and government of ECOWAS, knowing the importance of integration and having in mind that integration cannot be achieved without financial intermediation, they saw the need to create the then ECOWAS Fund for compensation, cooperation, and development, popularly known as the ECOWAS Fund, around the same time in 1975. Now, this fund started operation in 1979, and since 1979, they operated as a fund until 1999. We had two windows. We have the private sector windows, and then we have the public sector window. The public sector window was called the ECOWAS Regional Development Fund. And the private one was called the ECOWAS Regional Investment Bank. So these two subsidiaries constituted the ECOWAS Fund at the time. And they operated until 1999, when the authority of heads of state and government of ECOWAS saw the need to enhance the financial resources of this fund to become a bank so that they can deepen their financial intermediation in the sub-region. As a result, the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development was properly formed in 1979, no more as a fund but as a bank. And since 1999, it has operated as a bank up to today. Now, the underlying principle or aim or objective of this bank is to actually deepen intermediation or finance development projects and programs across all the 15 member countries of ECOWAS. And they have intervened in the area of energy, in the area of healthcare, technology, agriculture, health, education, and many more. Now, the bank intervenes, or the bank's intervention is through what we call short, medium, or long-term financing.
Okay.
In terms of short financing, in terms of medium financing, they also extend facilities to their stakeholders, who are the member countries of ECOWAS, and also the private entities and enterprises within the ECOWAS region. So as we speak today, the bank has invested in all sectors of the economies of West Africa, as I've already mentioned. And the total commitment of the bank as of today is almost $4 billion. The bank has made significant strides in other areas which I want to share with you. Not only that, they are also deepening financial intermediation across the member countries of ECOWAS, but they have also helped to actually improve socio-economic development activities across all these countries. I'm saying this because, for example, you might have heard about the EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, EcoBank Group. The EcoBank Group was established about 30-something years ago, and my bank, that is the ECOWAS Bank for Investment, played a key role in the establishment of this bank. In fact, it's one of the founding fathers of the EcoBank Transnational Incorporated. EcoBank Transnational Incorporated is across 35 countries as we speak now, not only in West Africa. 35, but also, yes, on the whole African, the whole African continent. They are in East Africa, Southern Africa, West Africa, and then Central Africa. They are all over. And you could see that the ECOWAS group has played a very key role in addressing so many socioeconomic issues across the African continent. And I'm happy to, emphasize that my bank, that is the ECOWAS bank, which is also your bank, played a very pivotal role in establishing this bank.
Wow.
Again, you might have heard about ASCA Airline or ASCA Airline.
Wow.
The ASCA Airline is the leading airline that is operating in the sub-region, the ECOWAS sub-region. They have various, about more than 30 destinations all over. And they have really enhanced transportation and economic activities across the West Africa region and even Africa. I'm happy to note that the ASCA Airline was also funded by other stakeholders, including the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. So EBID played a key role in formation of this ASCA Airline, which has really helped transportation activities across all the West African countries, and of course, also on the African continent. There is another company called African Biofuel Renewable Energy, ABREF. This company enhances renewable energy, as you know. Now we are all heading towards green financing. So this ABREF has played a front role in ensuring that we have renewable energy in our sub-region in order to reduce gas emission. EBID is one of the founding fathers of this company also. And there are many others that I can mention. So apart from the fact that the bank is committed to financing development projects and programs across all the 15 countries of ECOWAS, they have also played a key role in establishing very, very strategic companies on the sub-region. Wow. With the aim of enhancing economic activities and promoting jobs all over. So in the nutshell, that is the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. As I said, that is the leading financial institution in the whole of ECOWAS region. And I can tell you that its role has been very, very fundamental in enhancing the economic activities of the populations of West Africa.
So I heard you mention a figure, $4 billion invested in direct financing of the unbanked population. Why invest so much money in the region?
Let me correct something. It's not the unbanked.
Okay.
The almost $4 billion that we have invested, as I said, across the various sectors of the economies of West Africa relates not only to direct financing, we also have indirect financing.
Okay.
And when I talk about indirect financing, we extend facilities to commercial banks of our member countries. And then they will also on-lend to the SMEs and SMIs. Because remember that for us to be able to enhance economic activities, the role of the SMEs and the SMIs becomes very, very critical. And therefore, the amount we have committed so far is not only for direct financing, some are for indirect financing, and even some are for equity participation.
Okay.
Remember, I've mentioned about 3 companies in which the bank has invested.
Okay.
It means that we don't only do direct or indirect financing, we also do equity participation. And sometimes we even provide guarantees. For example, Kwesi, you may have a big business and you want to actually attract a big facility from any bank. We are ready to provide guarantee to support your business. So we have done that because, as I said, the bank is supposed to enhance the economic activities of our member countries. And therefore, we think that financial intermediation is key to us achieving this objective. And so we have done that because we are also mindful of the fact that the infrastructure gap we have in our sub-region is huge. As we speak now, the infrastructure gap we have in our sub-region is over $6 billion. And as a leading bank, we should be more relevant to the needs of our stakeholders. And that is the reason we have invested that much. And we are in the process, or we are in the business of always funding businesses across the various sectors of the economies of West Africa.
You just mentioned the word financial inclusion. Financial inclusion actually is the biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems for West Africa and Africa as a whole. For a bank like your bank, ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, what do you think you can do to actually help to take care of that challenge?
And that is what has brought us to Brussels here. We are now in Brussels.
Yeah, we are in Brussels.
We participated in the 9th edition of the Rebranding Africa Forum. And the aim was involving financial inclusion, a pathway through authenticity and modernity. We are here because we think that as a regional bank, we can play a key role in bringing about this financial inclusion. You made mention of something which is very important. Now, it is estimated that about 350 million of our populations in West Africa are unbanked. And therefore, it is important for us to bring education to actually, innovate. There is the need for innovation. to make sure that we bring all these unbanked populations into the banking system. And that's what I talked about, deepening financial inclusion in West Africa. I mentioned yesterday in my speech that mobile money network is very important. Now, a number of this mobile money network has become very, very common now. And all the unbanked in the rural populations are now all being brought on board. They are all being brought to the financial system. Because remember that these rural areas wouldn't have gone to the commercial banks or the traditional banks to actually put their money there. But the presence of mobile money has played a key role in bringing about this. There are many, many non-traditional networks that have brought some of these unbanked population into the banking system. So financial inclusion, as a bank, what we can do is to actually conduct training, play advocacy role to these, let me say, our vulnerable populations, so that they will have the understanding. They will know that not that people are coming. In fact, the SUSU is another important component of our financial services, which has brought a number of unbanked population into the banking stream. So there are many of these things that are parading. But as a bank, as a regional bank, of course, it is important for us to educate the populations and also strengthen the commercial banks and all these other players, so that they will understand the risks and all the modalities and the intricacies in this business, and they will have a clearer perspective of what is ahead of them, so that they will all come on board to actually play a key role in this financial system. So it is very important. We can finance some of these things. We can even finance SMEs through the commercial banks for the online to the beneficiaries, to enable them also to extend these facilities to the rural populations, for them to be brought into the banking stream.
So I know the bank is looking for money, and yesterday at the Rebranding Africa, you made mention of something that I believe we really need to talk about. You talk about getting investment from non-regional members. Don't you think that will impact the bank, like even talking about the shareholder structure? Don't you think that will have an impact on the bank?
Thank you very much, Kwasi. This is a very important question, and this is what I want to say to the general public. The bank, as I said, the bank started in 1979. Of course, it was established in 1975, and then we started operation in 1979. As we speak today, there is no non-regional member. But for us to be more relevant to our stakeholders, there is a need for us to enhance our financial resources. Very important. Let me tell you the story of African Development Bank. When AFD started, there were so many challenges concerning the coming on board of non-regional members. But today, we have seen the success story of African Development Bank. It's a triple-A-rated bank. They have invested billions of dollars across the various sectors of the African continent. And the role that African Development has played is so impactful that it cannot be underestimated at all. As we speak now, US is a shareholder, and many developed countries are all shareholders. In fact, China, Japan, they are all shareholders. Belgium, even the country in which we are now, they are all shareholders of African Development Bank. Which means that if you just keep to your identity, if you don't want to expand, if you don't want to invite other people on board or other investors on board, you may end up not achieving your aim or objective. And that is why, as a regional bank, the time has come for us to reach out to non-regional members. Then they will come with financial resources to enable us to deepen our intervention in our member countries. Remember that the non-regional members coming on board also sends a strong signal to the market. It gives confidence to the market. It makes the banks more relevant to the needs of its stakeholders. And above all, it also positions the bank internationally. We think that the time has come, and then the board of governors of the bank has formally approved that we should invite non-regional members on board. As we speak now, we need about $3 billion US to be able to increase our capital. Remember that if we also bring non-regional members on board, it has the implication of increasing our rating by the international rating agencies. This will enable us also to now attract resources at very competitive rates to be able to support our member countries. So I'm happy to let you know that we are talking to serious stakeholders. In fact, tomorrow we have a big meeting here in Brussels. We are talking to stakeholders who have expressed interest to come and enjoy the capital of the bank. And so as we speak now, that is the most critical issue that the bank is pursuing, the very important strategy. We think that we should reach out to the rest of the world. So, yes.
So I've done a little bit of research, and I realized that EBID, the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, have a strategy they're calling it Strategy 2025. Where are you guys with the implementation of that?
Very good. Now, if you look at Strategy 2025,
Yeah.
Certain areas have been highlighted in terms of governance,
Yeah.
in terms of human resource development, in terms of financial and operational performance, in terms of visibility, and in terms of even ICT. Now, in terms of governance, I can tell you that we have gone far. Last year, the Board of Governors approved, this year, April, the Board of Governors approved our new structure. There was a very serious institutional reforms that were undertaken by international consultant. The new governance framework has been approved, and we have strengthened our risk framework as part of the governance issues. We are bringing on board additional vice president in charge of risk and control. All this tells you about the way we have strengthened our governance system. In terms of the decision-making bodies, as you may be aware, the Board of Governors, comprising the ministers for finance of the 15 countries, is the highest decision-making body. They have been very, very consistent with their meetings. The Board of Directors, which is the next in terms of ranking, also has been having their meetings. We have the Governance and Ethics Committee that have been created to ensure that we conform to rules and regulations. All the ethical issues in the bank are well managed. We have the internal audit and evaluation operation, which have been separated now. The internal audit will concentrate on internal issues, and the evaluation operation also will consider external issues. So these are the things that have to take place in terms of governance. In terms of human resource development, I'm happy to know that we have approved the human resource development policy, which in terms of succession plan, in terms of capacity building, identifying the gaps in our human resource initiatives, and then taking the necessary steps to ensure that all this is managed. In terms of visibility, you could see that EBID is visible everywhere now, culminating in the various awards that the president of the bank, of course, on behalf of the bank, has received in recent time. The president received the Prix de la Foundation Award in Geneva last year. You are very much aware. This is the highest, one of the highest awards internationally. In fact, I received this alongside Reverend Jesse Jackson of the U.S. civil rights activist. That tells you about the importance of this. The president was also named among the 100 personalities in Financial Africa, a very renowned magazine, 100% that is transforming Africa. Yesterday, we received the Development Champion Award. And so forth and so forth. That tells you that the bank is visible, because we don't know any of these institutions. In other words, all these forums, we have never had any contact with them. But they have heard about our good works. They have heard about the transformation agenda we are pursuing, and they think that it is high time they recognize all the achievement that we are making. So that is in terms of visibility what we are doing, and we are all over now. And in terms of resource mobilization, we have mobilized about 1.7 billion over the period of the transit plan, and we have exceeded 101% in terms of the level of implementation. Disbursement is over almost $2 billion US. That tells you that in terms of our target, we have even exceeded the target, the strategic plan. So to sum up, in terms of the implementation of the strategic plan, we have achieved not less than 80%. And remember that we have about even 2 more years to run. And so it means that we will see the expectations as stipulated in the strategic plan. So we are on all fronts. We are exceeding all the parameters. We are achieving all the components that have been stipulated in the strategic plan as a result of hard work. And I want to owe this to my members of staff, my board of directors, who have really supported these initiatives. And as a result, we have come thus far.
We will not end this interview without talking about why we came to Brussels. We know we are here for the Rebranding Africa Forum. But my question to you is that why is your bank so hooked on to participate in this forum?
Thank you very much. As I said yesterday, this is a very important forum where we are addressing financial inclusion. And as a leading regional development bank, it behoves us to be part of this noble initiative. This program is held annually, and it's important for us to come and new trends. You know, the market keeps on changing. So coming to meet other captains of the industry, not only sharpen your mind, but you come to learn about the new trends in the financial market and how best you can also strategize and position yourself to be able to meet the challenges of the environment or the challenge of the future. Again, you also saw that yesterday the president was given an award. And as I said, the award is for the entire bank. Development Champion Award. It means that the organizers and the stakeholders have seen the great impact we are making in the sub-region. And they thought that our presence in this event, it will not only enhance the integrity and the image of this, other stakeholders also have the opportunity of learning from us. So we are here just to increase our knowledge, number one, to also abreast ourselves of what is happening, the new trends in the market, and how best we can also network to be able to meet other stakeholders who are ready to join the bank and to be part of the success story in the sub-region.
Wow. But, you know, I did some research. You know, I like doing my own research, and I realized that your bank, EBID, have actually invested a lot of money into some of the five-star hotels in the region. Why so much investment in the hospitality industry? Thank
you very much, Kwasi. As I said, EBID should be more relevant to the needs of its member countries or its stakeholders. West Africa, as you know, we are lagging behind in terms of infrastructure. And I'm happy that you have recognized and noted that EBID has invested in so many five-star hotels in almost all the 15 countries of ECOWAS. That tells you about the importance and the strategic position of the bank, because we think that we should support socioeconomic activities. And remember that infrastructure plays a key role in our socioeconomic agenda. For example, for you to attract investors into your region, you need infrastructure. So these hotels have been financed by the bank to enable us to attract investors into the sub-region and to be able to boost economic activities. All the 15 countries, as you rightly notice, we have five-star hotels there, but there are more, in the pipeline where we want to actually enhance our intervention in the hotel industry. Tourism is very key in our sub-region, and for us to be able to attract a lot of tourists, to attract investors, hotel infrastructure is very key. And that is what has motivated us to invest in many hotels in the sub-region.
His Excellency, we are coming to the end of the program, but I want you to send a word to the investors watching you. But I'm also keen on tell the investors what is the difference between your bank, EBID, and the rest of the DFI that we have today on the market. What is so special about you as a word of conclusion?
Thank you very much. I want to tell our audience that investing in the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development is very, very key. The bank is not only interested in the financial achievements or the profit that we make at the end of the period. We are more interested in transforming lives, impacting lives, changing our communities. EBID has succeeded in alleviating poverty in the sub-region. We have succeeded in creating more jobs. We have succeeded in promoting public sector activities. And for me, any entity, any endeavor, any human endeavor that is geared towards reducing poverty and impacting lives must be well supported. And that is the reason I think that investing in the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development is very key. As a bank, we have reached out to many entities all over the sub-region, and we have played a key role in transforming our communities. And therefore, if there is any investor who wants to invest, I would strongly recommend the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. Another reason is that you may have a foothold in all the 50 member countries. Because remember that I said yesterday that the marginal propensity to invest in West Africa is higher than any part of the world. Because that's where we have the infrastructure gaps, and that is why business is flourishing in West Africa. The only thing we need now is to get the right partners to be able to support our growth agenda. And so I want to recommend that ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development has opened up to non-regional members. And I can tell you that a number of them are engaging us with a view to joining the bank. I want to appeal to our audience, I want to put to the Western world to look at the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, where a number of activities are going on in the area of mining, in the area of agriculture. You know that agriculture is key now, and it's something we have taken on board. Agribusiness, green financing, these are the things that have engaged our attention in recent time. And if there is any investor who wants to actually seek value for his or her investment, then I would strongly recommend the ECOWAS Bank for Investment as the only destination for now that to be able to meet their aspirations. Thank you very much.
So we're calling for more investment into EBID. So
EBID.
His Excellency, thank you so much for giving us the honor for granting an interview to GSS Media. God Almighty bless you.
Thank you very much, Kwasi. And I want to thank your team for the professionalism that you have displayed over the period. We hope that we'll continue to count on you in the days and years ahead of us. Right. Thank you very much, and we wish you well. Travel safe back to the US tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
We are EBID. EBID, transforming ECOWAS communities. We have more information for you at www.BIDC-EBID.org.